Cooperstown. It's a village famous for baseball, but has a rich history that goes well beyond sports. It's in the town of Otsego, mostly, and is the seat of Otsego County. Here, the Susquehanna River leaves Otsego Lake and flows south. You put all these things together, and the result is Cooperstown. And in this video, I'm going to try and wrap it all up. Long before humans even existed, the landscape that would become the Susquehanna Valley was being shaped. Skip ahead about 300 million years, and glacial activity shaped the Otsego Lake Basin, forming the northernmost source of the Susquehanna River. Along these waters, the Susquehannock and other Iroquoian-speaking natives lived, fishing and trading for generations. Otsego Lake itself was a central place for seasonal camps and gatherings. The term Otsego means place of the rock, referring to a large council rock at the outlet. In the 1600s, Dutch fur traders visited from the Albany region, beginning European contact in the area. Then, the larger Dutch colony of New Netherland became the English colony of New York, and by the 1700s, natives had transferred many Susquehanna lands to the British Crown. Missionary efforts followed, and there were some early settlement attempts near the future village. In 1768, George Croghan acquired a bunch of land around Otsego Lake. Then, a war regarding colonial independence from the British Crown erupted, and it brought tragedy, including the nearby Cherry Valley Massacre, where dozens were killed by forces allied with England. Largely in retaliation to this, an expedition in 1779 was put together, with Patriot General James Clinton using Cooperstown as a base of operations. To move troops efficiently, his men dammed the Susquehanna, later releasing it to float soldiers downstream. They met up with troops under General John Sullivan, and the campaign ultimately destroyed the villages of many British allied Haudenosaunee, weakening their military power and alliance with the Crown. Thankfully, war would come to an end, and in 1785, George Croghan's Otsego holdings were acquired by one William Cooper of Burlington, New Jersey. Cooper envisioned a town, and the next year, he laid out streets and plots. The early settlement would soon include homes, barns, a store, a tavern, and a tannery. Then, Otsego County was created, a newspaper began, and in 1807, the village of Otsego was incorporated. Within 5 years, the name was changed to Cooperstown, named after William, who died in 1809. Years earlier, he and his wife, Elizabeth Fenimore Cooper, had given birth to a baby boy named James. And little Jimmy Fenimore spent his youth at Otsego Hall and would later write novels describing the Cooperstown area. His famous leatherstocking tales, including The Pioneers and The Last of the Mohicans, told stories of the nearby wilderness and frontier life. He nicknamed Otsego Lake the Glimmerglass, and his farm would eventually become the site of the Fenimore Art Museum. By the mid-1800s, Cooperstown was emerging as a summer retreat. Isaac Merritt Singer refined the sewing machine with legal help from local attorney Edward Clark. At the same time, the village became a center for hops production, making it the Hop City. Then you have the Civil War, where a new game involving bases and a ball was being played by soldiers. Following the war, the Cooperstown and Charlotte Valley Railroad connected the village to a larger line, enhancing connectivity. Kingfisher Tower became a lakeside icon, and affluent residents built impressive Victorian homes. In 1901, you have the village's first passenger trolley, and you can still hop on one here. Then there's the Otesaga Hotel, which is still in operation, and Dr. Mary Bassett, affectionately known as Molly, was caring for patients across the countryside. In 1922, a hospital would open named in her honor. Locals were playing baseball at Doubleday Field, which was named after Abner Doubleday, a Union Major General during the Civil War. It's since been debunked that he invented baseball here, but the myth inspired the creation of a place that celebrates America's pastime. As it happened, it was during the Great Depression when Stephen Clark wanted to honor baseball while boosting his hometown's economy during hard times. His efforts led to the conception of the National Baseball Hall of Fame that officially opened in 1939. Among the first inductees were legends Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb. Soon after, the Farmers Museum opened, creating a living history museum of rural American life. People started calling it the Village of Museums, and in the coming decades would become the starting point of the 70-mile General Clinton canoe race. The Glimmerglass Opera Festival began in 1975, and by 1987, the Alice Bush Opera Theater opened as its lakeside stage. In the 21st century, things kept humming along, and in 2017, the New York State Historical Association changed its name to the Fenimore Art Museum, and it's still going strong. Today, Cooperstown remains the spiritual home of baseball, where Hall of Fame classics and Dreams Park events celebrate legends and nurture young players. But as I said in the beginning, this place goes well beyond sports. It's a uniquely American village where heritage, culture, and community all come together. I hope you enjoyed this historical summary, and have a good one.